Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Super duper well, because coming up later in the program, we have Tuesdays with Charlie. Mm-hmm. That's one of our favorite things around here.
I love talking to my dad.
I know, so do I.
He's the greatest man.
Every Tuesday we call and talk.
He would never leave his wife to pack up the whole house all by herself while he goes out and just chit-chats with people. He would never, ever do that.
He would never do that. I don't know any jerk that would do something like that. By the way, I didn't leave for the whole day.
I know somebody who might do something like that. But
I was gone for like 3, maybe 4 hours. Anyway, yeah. You ever going to live that down or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just wanted to check. Coming up later in the program, we do have Tuesdays with Charlie. Also, we've got a quote from Douglas MacArthur. It says, "There is no security on earth. There is only opportunity." So there you go. A little quote from Douglas MacArthur. Special stuff going on today. We'll get to that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Do you shop online? Do you know anyone else that shops online? Come on, it's 2017. Most people buy at least some things online every month. How would you like to save money and earn money from that shopping? There's an interesting new program that allows you to sign up for free. No credit card needed. Then you can save money when you buy online at many of the major sites. Plus, there's a way to earn money, too. Watch the video with all of the details at radiosavings.com. Save money and earn money. Radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com. Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It is Tuesday, July the 25th. Today is Carousel Day. Also, Merry-Go-Round Day. Are those the same thing?
I think it's the same thing.
Merry-Go-Round? Carousel?
A merry-go-round is in a playground, right?
Okay. Well, it's both of those. It's also Hire a Veteran Day, which that's a good idea every day.
That is a great thing.
It is Video Games Day. We're not big video game people.
No.
What is your favorite video game?
Pitfall.
Really? My favorite video game?
I loved it from the 80s.
My favorite is still Pac-Man, so there you go. It is also Thread the Needle Day today, and it is Red Shoe Day. Have you ever had red shoes?
I don't
Have you ever
think
owned
so.
red? I have owned a pair of red shoes.
No, I did, because I wore them to prom. So.
Okay. Well,
yes,
I've owned 2 pairs of red shoes in my lifetime. One was some, what do they call those? The Chuck Taylor things?
I guess I had some red flats. I was thinking heels, but yeah, I've had red shoes.
I've had a couple pairs. I liked them, but I haven't worn red shoes in a long time. But today would be a day to do it on this Tuesday, the 25th day of July.
John and Heidi.
Wouldn't it be great to have a new car and to always have a new car? You can with lowerlease.com. We teach you how to get the best lease deals available. We have clients that have used our system to get a brand new $25,000 vehicle for just $250 per month. You pick the car you want and let us show you how to get the lease payment you want too. This is a proven system that has people driving new cars with no money down. Sign and drive a new car with a lower lease payment at lowerlease.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. If you spend a lot of time listening to your mobile device with earbuds or headphones, you better turn down the volume. There's growing evidence that these devices can cause hearing loss for those who like to crank it up.
What?
That's what I thought you were going to say. A new study shows 5 million American children have some degree of hearing loss induced by exposure to noise. So be careful out there. Coming up, we got your brain on drugs. That's on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. One old Dallas school is going to pot. Police say they found about 50 suspected pot plants growing in a classroom in a vacant high school, Wilmer Hutchinson High School. Another 200 flower pots were being prepped for growing. A school district spokesperson said the indoor marijuana farm was equipped with grow lights and buckets to water the illegal crop. The Dallas Morning News reports a tip led officers to the school-turned-grow house. So there you go.
Was the school currently a school?
No,
or
it was
an abandoned school?
Yeah, it was an abandoned school. So it's a vacant. They're no longer using it. But apparently there was electricity, or how are they going to power those lights? I'm not exactly sure. Doesn't make a ton of sense to me. But that happened in Dallas, again at the Wilmer Hutchins High School. This has been your Brain on Drugs. We've got big screen, little screen on the way. We've got your scoop of the day coming up. And before you know it, Tuesdays with Charlie. It's all on the way right here on a Tuesday edition of the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. You ready for this, Heidi?
Yes.
All right. Ryan Seacrest has announced that he will, indeed, host the American Idol reboot. There was rumors and speculation before, but now it's official. Also in the news, Elon Musk has said that he has received permission to build an underground East Coast Hyperloop that will connect New York and Washington, D.C. in 29 minutes. That's interesting. So, an underground connection from New York to D.C. in just 29 minutes?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is absolutely crazy. Why is that in the... I don't know. Lena Dunham has been confirmed as joining American Horror Story for Season 7. And Paige Davis, do you remember?
Lena Dunham?
Yeah, I don't know.
She is an American Horror Story all by herself.
I shouldn't even I should have just kept on reading that next story.
The heck are they putting her on a TV show for?
I don't know. Paige Davis is returning to host Trading Spaces.
I didn't even know Trading Spaces was still a thing.
It was not. It's been off for 10 years. They're bringing it back, and Paige Davis will be the host once again. So there you go. Big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Movies and TV with a low monthly fee. That's ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Are you trying to lose weight? I know the struggle. I've been overweight much of my life. I recently started the easiest weight loss program I've ever tried, and it's working great. I've lost almost 30 pounds, but I'm hearing amazing stories from others that have tried it too. One that's already lost 20 pounds, and another that's been doing this longer than I have that's lost almost 100 pounds. Want to try it for free? You can at pinkdrinkfree.com. Request your free sample right now at pinkdrinkfree.com. That's pinkdrinkfree.com. Now your scoop of the day. We head to Italy, where a driver has been banned from driving when he was caught shaving at 70 miles per hour. That's probably not the smartest thing to do. The Knot released their annual report on wedding trends. How much do you think the average cost of a wedding is these days?
$40,000.
A little less than that. $35,329. Flex Seal. Have you heard of this
Good
stuff?
thing we only have one daughter.
I know. No kidding. Flex Seal. They're advertising it now as the new duct tape. I have never had any. Have you ever? We've never used it.
I've seen it.
I've seen
always
the
wanted
commercials.
some.
Well, I've seen the commercials for it, but they're calling it the new duct tape that fixes everything, even underwater. So I don't know if it's the new duct tape, because like every household has duct tape. We don't have any Flex Seal.
We should.
Should we really? Hey, a band of feral rhesus macaque monkeys. I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure. Rhesus macaque monkeys. Anyway, they're feral, and they've been making themselves known in Central Florida. So there's a whole lot of monkey business going on down there.
They sound delicious.
No, they don't. Not Reese's like Reese's Pieces, like Reese's Monkeys. In England, a taxi driver told an officer he was speeding because his passengers were stinking up the back of his car, tooting. They were breaking wind and smelling up his car. That's why he was speeding. Speaking of breaking wind, we got Tuesdays with Charlie coming your way. A 50% of the U.S. broadband households are willing to share data and device control of their thermostats, hot water heaters, smart clothes dryers, and all of that for discounts on electricity. So half of the household said, yeah, if you give me a discount on electricity, you can control all of the stuff in my house.
No way.
Yeah, I would rather stay.
Way.
It depends on what kind of discount. If it's like, we'll do it for free. If they were going to give you the electricity for free, if they could control it, you wouldn't do that?
If they could control, they could turn it off 24 hours a day. And they could say, hey, we're in control, so you have nothing to say about it. And you still have to pay whatever your discounted rate was.
There you go. See?
No. Bad
Heidi
idea.
has thought this through. Olympic organizers are hoping to construct medals for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics from recycled smartphones. The committee hopes to amass 8 tons of metal. That would be enough to produce 5,000 medals by installing collection boxes in more than 2,400 Japanese mobile carrier stores across the country. So they're going to be in Tokyo 2020. They're saying drop off your old cell phones, and I guess there's enough precious metals inside of those for them to make 5,000 medals if they get enough smartphones between now and then. Didn't realize there was that much precious metal in a smartphone. Hey, texting while driving is not only dangerous if somebody else does it, right? Half of American drivers between 21 and 24 said they've thumbed a message or email while they were in the driver's seat. Many drivers don't think it's dangerous when they do it, but it is when others do it, according to a survey.
That's you.
At any given moment last year on America's streets and highways, nearly 1 in every 100 car drivers were texting, emailing, or surfing the web, or otherwise using a handheld electronic device. I'll use one to make a phone call, and then you get mad because I like dialing the number. You're going, hey, you got to...
You can't do that.
I understand. So I'm not saying that I'm perfect, because I'm sure not. A study by Bankrate.com finds that 76% of Americans do not have enough money set aside to survive 6 months of emergency if they would lose their job. Do we have enough to get by for 6 hours?
No.
Probably not. A man in China bought a first-class plane ticket, then went to a fancy pre-boarding lounge and ate the fancy meals and drinks that they offer for free. Then he rescheduled his flight for the next day, and he did this again and again and again for 300 days.
Wow.
He was just going to the restaurant every day and eating for free. 300 days in a row. Then he canceled and refunded his ticket the day before it expired.
Wow.
So this dude has got quite the racket that he dreamed up right there. He's like, I think I'm going to just go to the lounge and, eat and drink and use your Wi-Fi for free. Hey, I got a first-class ticket right here. So I bet they're going to probably work on some sort of workaround on that. So that can't happen again. There you go. This has been your Scoop of the Day. Tuesdays with Charlie is on the way.
John and Heidi.
Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Talk about a trip back in time.
80s in the Sand is in beautiful Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
Featuring awesome bands like Loverboy, Starship, Night Ranger, Howard Jones, and many more.
Plus, you'll get a chance to meet 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many others.
You can book your trip back to the 80s now at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to save $200 per person at 80sinthesand.com.
We'd love it if you'd join us.
That's 80sinthesand.com. And it's time right now for my favorite program, something we do every Tuesday just because we can. We pick up the phone and we call my father-in-law for a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
How you doing, Charlie?
I'm hot,
Yeah.
It has been kind of toasty, hasn't it?
blanked off. That's what I am.
Me too, oddly enough.
He's bleeping himself now. Well, what kind of cool stuff are we going to talk about, Charlie?
Well, let's start off with, here's a smart kid. You got a smart kid. You got two smart kids.
Yeah, we do.
One's a little smart, whether, 1987, an 18-year-old freshman named Mike Hayes funded his education by asking 2.8 million people for 1 penny.
Really?
How did he get the word out to that many people?
I suppose the internet, I don't know.
He probably put an ad during the John and Heidi show.
Who wouldn't send a kid a penny?
Yeah, no kidding. I'd maybe even send him a quarter. What the heck?
Well, I'm sure most people did. If they're like, well, if I'm going to send something, I might as well send something more. It's pretty smart. Costs more for the stamp.
I might try this. See how it works.
I don't think we can legally ask you to do that, so let's not.
Okay. We're not doing it legally. We're just mentioning it. Hey, according to the Northern Kentucky University, mixing diet soda rather than normal soda with alcohol leads to faster intoxication.
No kidding.
Diet with your booze.
Yeah, note to self. If you want to get drunk quicker, diet's the way to go.
All employees of Ben & Jerry's get to take home 3 free pints of ice cream every single day.
Oh, wow.
A day? That's a lot of ice cream.
Oh, I could eat that.
Could you? Every day? I see it, but I don't really eat much ice cream. I don't like ice cream much.
Well, if it was free, I could probably polish it off.
Oh, just put her in there. Somebody will eat her.
Absolutely.
Hey, you remember, don't remember, but the gentleman that made Jack Daniels whiskey?
Yeah, his name was Jack Daniels.
There you go. You know what his last words were?
What?
No, what were they?
One last drink, please.
Nice. Those are going to be my last words.
Give me another one.
Those are her last words every week before she passes out.
Those were the first words after I had each kid. Give me a drink, please. Can I have a drink now? The kid's out. I can drink.
You go fishing?
Not for a long time, no.
Well, I don't think you eat jellyfish anyway, do you?
No.
Okay. A jellyfish's mouth also serves as its anus.
You know, I read that one time.
Ew.
Kiss me. Oh, you smell like... I wouldn't even touch a jellyfish, let alone that. Oh, hey, I got one last thing here for you.
All right, what's that?
There's a wife carrying championship that takes place in Finland every year where the winner receives his wife's weight in beer.
I think we heard about this once or twice.
Told you this one.
You did.
All you got to do is carry her across the finish line first, and you get her weight in beer.
There you go. So that's when you got to decide, is it better to have a big wife or a little wife, you know?
Well, you need about a 300-pound wife and hope you win.
There you go. You ready for a question, Charlie?
Nope.
You might actually get this. On the box of Cracker Jacks, there's a little dog. Do you know what that dog's name is?
Bob.
No, it's Bingo.
Oh,
Bingo
you were close. Started
was
with
his
a B.
name-o. Bingo is the name of the dog on the Cracker Jacks box.
I haven't had Cracker Jacks for years.
You know, I haven't either.
Not since I was a little kid.
I haven't even seen them lately. Are they still around?
I've seen them at the dollar store.
Okay, well, we'll have to get
I
some.
don't ever
one of these
buy
days.
them, but I've seen them at the dollar store.
Run right down there and get some for a buck.
Same box has been on the shelf for 2 years.
It's got a little orphan Annie Dakota ring inside.
You got her.
Well, Charlie, it is always a pleasure. We will reach out to you again next Tuesday if you're okay with that.
I think it's more of an experience than a pleasure, but
Well,
we'll give her another shot.
It is a pleasurable experience.
We're on a roll, so let's keep her going.
Sounds good. We'll talk to you next week,
Bye,
Charlie.
Daddy.
Bye, Fluff. Bye, John.
Bye-bye. My father-in-law right there, we talk to him every Tuesday just because we can. It's a little program we like to call
Tuesdays with Charlie.
John and Heidi.
Do you shop online? Do you know anyone else that shops online? Come on, it's 2017. Most people buy at least some things online every month. How would you like to save money and earn money from that shopping? There's an interesting new program that allows you to sign up for free. No credit card needed. Then you can save money when you buy online at many of the major sites. Plus, there's a way to earn money, too. Watch the video with all of the details at radiosavings.com. Save money and earn money. Radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
It's impossible to sneeze with your eyes open. Unless you hold them open, then you can sneeze. But your eyeballs will probably fly out and hit the wall or something. So be careful out there. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
A peanut is not a nut at all. It's a legume.
Really?
Yeah, so a peanut is not a nut. It's a legume. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Paul McCartney's mother was a midwife. Okay. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The phrase sleep tight was originated when mattresses were set upon ropes woven through the bed frame. To remedy sagging ropes, one would use a bed key to tighten the ropes, hence nighty-night, sleep tight. What do you think of that? Pretty good stuff right there. A couple of fun facts heading your way each and every day, courtesy of our friends at pinkdrinkfree.com. Not just another diet, it's a way of life. That's pinkdrinkfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Are you trying to lose weight? I know the struggle. I've been overweight much of my life. I recently started the easiest weight loss program I've ever tried, and it's working great. I've lost almost 30 pounds, but I'm hearing amazing stories from others that have tried it too. One that's already lost 20 pounds, and another that's been doing this longer than I have that's lost almost 100 pounds. Want to try it for free? You can at pinkdrinkfree.com. Request your free sample right now at pinkdrinkfree.com. That's pinkdrinkfree.com. Interesting story here, Heidi. A widow in Cambodia is getting a lot of attention because she claims her cow is a reincarnation of her husband. Apparently it does everything just like he did it. I think this story is utterly ridiculous.
Oh, wow.
You don't know how long I've been waiting to tell you that.
It was totally worth it.
Was it worth the
You
wait?
can tell by my reaction.
Oh, boy. Coming up, we have some weird news. It's way better than my utterly ridiculous joke. I promise you. It's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Wouldn't it be great to have a new car and to always have a new car? You can with lowerlease.com. We teach you how to get the best lease deals available. We have clients that have used our system to get a brand new $25,000 vehicle for just $250 per month. You pick the car you want and let us show you how to get the lease payment you want too. This is a proven system that has people driving new cars with no money down. Sign and drive a new car with a lower lease payment at lowerlease.com.
Now, some weird news on a Tuesday. 29-year-old man accused of stealing a bicycle in Boston's North End tried to complete his own kind of little triathlon of getting away, apparently, in an attempt to get away from the cops. Jason Duncan first rode on a bike out to the North End Washington Street Bridge. Then when the police cornered him there, he jumped off the bridge into the Boston Harbor and swam to the shore. When they tried to arrest him Tuesday night, then he ran down a harbor walkway, and he was finally caught. Duncan pled not guilty to one count of larceny over $250 fine, I guess is what it's going to be. So there we go. He's 29. He did like a little triathlon to get away from the cops. That's kind of crazy. That was, again, a very busy story. We get a lot of stories these days that have so much going on.
A lot of detail.
A lot of stuff going on, and I think my wife is taking a nap over here. You okay? You
I'm
with
good.
me?
I'm with
All
you.
right. Just wanted to make sure. Coming up here in a bit, we've got some other interesting stuff like your moment of duh. That is on the way. Right now, your weird news brought to you by LowerLease.com. Professional help in your search for a vehicle lease. That's LowerLease.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Says here, today's story, the people that run a prison in Brazil get our moment of duh. A helicopter was used in a recent jailbreak, so the prison officials ordered all prison guards and staff and all Brazilian prisons to shoot and then ask questions later at any helicopter attempting to land at the jail. One problem, though, the Brazilian government also had a group of prisoners being escorted by the police, being delivered by helicopter to one of the prisons under a secret operation. So secret, the prison officials were not informed that they would be coming. Guess what? Yeah,
Started firing.
Guards started firing on the police helicopter as it came in for landing. Nobody was hurt, fortunately. Helicopter had to make an emergency landing after being hit several times. So they're like, hey, we're just delivering the passengers. These prisoners need to come here. You'd think a little bit of communication would go a long way, but clearly they didn't chat that one through. Coming up, we have some good news. That's on your way, and we appreciate you listening to the John and Heidi Show. This has been your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Talk about a trip back in time.
80s in the Sand is in beautiful Punta Cana, Dominican Republic.
Featuring awesome bands like Loverboy, Starship, Night Ranger, Howard Jones, and many more.
Plus, you'll get a chance to meet 80s icons like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and many others.
You can book your trip back to the 80s now at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to save $200 per person at 80sinthesand.com.
We'd love it if you'd join us.
That's 80sinthesand.com. Hey, before we get to the good news, I got something quick for you here, Heidi. It says, scientists in Australia have concluded that mimosa plants can learn from experience and have long-term memories.
I didn't know there was a mimosa plant. I thought mimosas came when you combined champagne and orange juice.
I thought so, too. I wonder if this is like a tree that has grapes and oranges, like grapefruits. No, that'd be something different, wouldn't it? I'm not sure. I didn't know there was a mimosa plant either. M-I-M-O-S-A.
I'm going to start planting them.
I'm pretty sure they don't have mimosa drinks on it. Coming up, we get your good news. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with some good news. You ready for some good news, Heidi?
Sure.
It's a good time for good news. Here's the good news. First of all, a lot of the time these start out sad. And it is sad. There's a young lady who had a child who was born stillborn. And she, after quite some time, decided, you know what, I can't have all of this stuff in the house. It reminds me of him every single day. So she had a yard sale, and she was selling a bunch of stuff. And the crib was one of the things that was for sale. And it was really hard for her to get rid of this crib. She was really struggling whether I should sell it or should I not sell it. And there was a couple that showed up at the yard sale, and it was says here, a week later, this couple came back to her house with a huge surprise for her. This couple bought the crib. The wife overheard her telling somebody else, because somebody said, so how old is your child? Because they were talking about all the baby stuff, and she's like, well, sadly my son didn't survive, and that's why I'm getting rid of this. It's really hard. It's been very difficult. And So the wife bought the crib, and she and her husband did a really cool thing. They turned it into a bench, and it's a really neat bench, and they brought it back and gave it to her. They said, we know that you were really struggling with getting rid of this, and we just think that you need to keep this as a memory, but it's now something that she can utilize. And she was so overjoyed and so happy that they did that. And these were strangers. These were not people she knew. Isn't that neat that somebody would do that?
It is neat. I remember reading this online a couple of years ago.
It's
awesome. It's a great story. But yes,
it was just sent to me this week. What are you
It's a
talking
wonderful
about?
story. It really is. It's very, very nice.
If you'd like to read it again, even if you read it a couple of years ago, I do have it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Good news brought to you by 80sinthesand.com, a week-long 80s event in Punta Cana this November. Heidi and I will be there. More info at 80sinthesand.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Tuesday.
Time now for the bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Sunny Radio, where it's always in the 80s. Thanks for joining us on a Tuesday. We've got a special guest joining us right now, DonBarnes, and he is with the band 38 Special. Don, how you doing, sir?
Great, John. How's everybody doing today?
Very good. Now, we're always excited to chat with you, because usually when we're talking, you're going to be playing right here in the neighborhood, but actually, this is even better, because now we can take you home with us whenever we want. You've got a new album coming out, don't you?
Yeah, Ride the Storm. DonBarnes, Ride the Storm. It's been a long time coming. It went through a lot of different shakeups through record business and all that boring stuff, but finally got to see the light of day. But it's a collection of explosive songs all the way through. Not a filler song in it. All A songs. Getting 5 stars all across the world, Germany and Japan, everywhere. So
that is awesome.
I'm so proud of it.
Now, the band 38 Special has been together for a long, long time, but is this your debut solo album?
Yeah, it was done a long time ago, over a couple of decades ago, and like I said, it ran into some trouble there. But we're all still together. We still do 100 cities a year, so it's special. But we had I had the opportunity to do a solo record from A&M Records, and the record company got sold to Polygram right at my release date. It's like, oh, who has this happened to them? You got it's all paid for, all ready to go, mixed and everything, and they got a big global acquisition, and Polygram had bought it, and it since then has changed hands 3 times. It's with Universal Music now, but they destroyed all the masters of this record. I had the only existing copy in the world. So after all this time, we felt like what's better time now to get it through Melodic Rock Records. It's available iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, all the outlets there. So, but I had Jeff Beccaro from band Toto and Mike Beccaro, his brother. They played on it, and sadly they didn't live to see this release. And then we were such an honor to have them in the studio. And Denny Carmassi, drummer from Heart, played on 4 songs. Dan Huff, who's a big titan in the music business, he's a big producer now in Nashville with Keith Urban and Rascal Flatts. But he was a session guitarist back then, just a monstrous guy. He's got played on everybody's record. All of those Beccaro brothers, people look at them as kind of handling them right into what Toto did, but they are a big rock drummer, a big pocket drummer with Boz Scaggs and just everybody back then, big rock stuff. And so it was just a labor of love, and it's the effort of a young man with a lot to prove there, So my belief in those songs never wavered all these years, and it's called Ride the Storm, and it definitely takes you for a ride.
So now, what year did you guys actually sit down and record these songs?
It was 1989. Actually, it was supposed to be released in 90, and that's when A&M Records was sold. And so over those years, I kept at it to see if I could buy the masters. My manager and I, we were going to personally buy the masters from A&M or from Polygram at the time. And it was all about acquisitions and holdings. These big conglomerates, they just want to hold on to things. They're not interested in doing any sales of masters and things like that. So, like I said, it's all the boring side of the record business that people don't really know what happens in business, But, over the years, I tried to find that the actual album art is a metaphor for what the struggle was. It's just kind of tied to this powerful tornado. The record was there. All the songs were there. you're grappling with all the unexpected twists and turns, and you're just hanging on, just trying to get it out there. So it finally got a catalog number, and I had to crack a bottle of champagne when it finally made it out there. So
that is awesome. Talk about a time capsule. Think about this. This is something that the world didn't even know existed. You knew it existed. You were there. The artists that helped work with you on the album knew it was there. But we get a chance to take a glimpse into the past, right today in the present, and this is just a really cool story.
Yeah, I tell you, it's before Auto-Tune, it's before Miley Cyrus, it's before American Idol, all these Star Search programs, before the Internet, anything. So it's a real organic group that went into the studio and slammed this stuff out. It's just explosive performances of these stuff. These guys are some of the best in the world. So I was humbled and honored to have them on this record. And, I was talking to some folks, the radio guys over in the UK, and the guy said, I do believe you might have created a monster.
Well, the thing that's really cool, again, visiting right now with Don Barnes, you know him from 38 Special. How long have you been in that band? Is that 30 years now at least?
Over 30 years, yeah. We started it. I'm the one to blame, back there in the 70s. So, Donnie Van Zandt and myself, we would ride around, try to find practice places, rehearsal buildings, old condemned buildings, and try to keep a band together. And we were really serious about it. So we'd pick up the guys that kind of fell along the wayside of other groups, and so the best players would pick this drummer from this band, and the competitive nature back then. But we played in all the guys, everybody from the Southern rock genre, whether it was Allman Brothers, Wayne and Greg, or to Ronnie Van Zant from Leonard Skinner to Molly Hatch. We all played at sailors' clubs. Jacksonville, Florida was a Navy town, and it was a big port town. 4 different naval bases there. So you played all these enlisted men's clubs, these sailors' clubs. At 15 years old, you got to make $100 a week, playing as a kid, playing cover songs. And people would ask me, what's the one that you hated? Evil Ways from Santana. I played that too many times, But when you learn all the structures of how songs are written and just the pattern, because it is a craft. There's a craft to it, and you learn where the payoff is and the bridge and the outro and just all these things. And then you get cocky and you say, well, I can write my own songs, and that's when you go starve for the next 10 years. So it's not something I highly recommend.
Well, I'm excited. Which song off this album, and I say a new album, even though it was recorded in 1989, which song should we play for our listeners right now, Don?
I would say Ride the Storm, the first song. The second one's called Looking for You. The consensus has been over around the internet and fan sites that both of those songs are way up there. But every song on there is great. I mean, it takes you for a ride all the way through. Yeah.
Well, we're going to sneak that one on right now. We'll get a couple others on the rest of this week as well. Don, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, sir.
I appreciate it, John. Thanks for having me on.
And it's fun because on this station we play music from the 1980s, so 38 Special. You guys are on here a lot. We love you. Every time you're in the neighborhood, we come out and see you. You're going to be out in Deadwood here later this summer. I don't know if I'll make it quite that far. It's more than just an hour drive. It's about a 5 or 6 hour drive, but we'll definitely see it next time you're in our neighborhood for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a good time. We got a lot of Manic fans out there, so everybody make it out when you hear us coming. We'll have a large time.
And here's one of my favorite stories about 38 Special. We were giving away, we have this website that we had set up with a friend, winthisonline.com, and we were giving away prizes. And to this day, the most people that ever signed up for a prize was for tickets to a sold-out 38 Special concert. We had tickets, and we were giving away tickets before it was sold out, and then as soon as it sold out, we couldn't. People kept registering, and we had more people register for tickets to 38 Special than we did for a car we had given away. We had more people register for tickets to 38 Special than we did for $100 cash. We did multiple $100 cash giveaways, but we still had more people sign up to come see you guys play at Grand Falls Casino. How cool is that?
Man, that really says a lot, about our standards. That's what it's been all these years, is we have tried to give 110% every single time. We go out there to be triumphant. We go after the crowd. It's a celebration of that brotherhood, and people can feel that. And so that is a testament to what our standards were all these years, is to go out there every time and people walk away and say, that was great. That was a great escape, and they really try. And we have this unspoken rule that we don't slack up, we stack up. We go out there and we go after them every night. So that's a real testament to that. I appreciate that, John.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to visit with you. I'm super excited that you finally get your moment in the spotlight as well with your debut album that was recorded in the 80s and because of a bunch of unforeseen circumstances is finally being released now. Don, thank you for sharing that story.
Thank you. And we also do 3 songs from Ride the Storm in our live show. So we've shuffled everything around. It's everything through the history of the band and then the extras there, too. So thank you.
Awesome. And we're going to hear some music from that album right now. And I've got a link to it on our social media, facebook.com/sunnyradio. If you want to go get the album, I've got a link to it on Amazon right there. And that's where we got this one. You can take a listen to it now on Sunny Radio, where it's always in the 80s.